Kia ora Year 9. This is just a quick video to go over exactly the equations we looked at in class, only without the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory video clip. So I'm going to start off and I'm just going to write the 4 different equations up here that we looked at today. So 2x plus 7 equals 36 is number 1. Number 2, the same but very different, was 2 times x plus 7 in brackets equals 36. Number 3 was x plus 7, all divided by 2, equals 36. And number 4 is x divided by 2 plus 7 equals 36. I'm going to go through each of these on a new slide. You might want to stop the video and have a go at solving these yourself now. So remember, in every case, my goal is to work out what is the mysterious value of x. Okay, and when we're solving an equation with x in it, that will always be my goal. Okay, let's look at the first one. We've got 2x plus 7 equals 36. So we are going to use inverse operations to get ourselves back to x. The first thing we'll do here is subtract 7 from both sides of the equation. Okay, now that means that on this side I just have 2x left. By subtracting the 7, I've got rid of my numbers here. Remember, I have to keep the equation balanced, so I do the same thing to both sides. So I've got 2x is now equal to 29. Now I've got 2 lots of x, but I only want to have 1 lot. So I divide both sides by 2. Here we've got 2 times. The opposite of times is divides. So that's why I choose to divide. Every time I'm doing the opposite step. So now I have x is equal to 29 divided by 2, which is 14.5. Okay, right, 2 times x plus 7 is equal to 36. In this case, the last thing that happened to x when the equation was being formed is that it got multiplied by 2. So that will be the first thing that I undo. I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So we'll get 2 divided by 2 times x plus 7 is equal to 36 divided by 2. Now 2 divided by 2 is just 1, so I'm left with x plus 7, and I can drop my brackets now. Okay, I'll put them in at first, so I've got 1 times x plus 7, 1 times anything is itself. So 36 divided by 2 is 18. Right, and now I am going to take those brackets out with my lovely eraser. Here we go. Get rid of the 1 times and the brackets. There we go. So we're left with x plus 7 is equal to 18. Next step is to subtract 7 off both sides. X plus 7 take away 7 is equal to 18 take away 7. And I'm left with x is equal to 11. 1. X plus 7 on the top line of the fraction, the numerator, divided by 2 is equal to 36. Right, the last thing that happened when the equation was being formed is this, the dividing through by 2. So the first thing that I'm going to do is going to be to times by 2. So now we get x plus 7 divided by 2, and I want to times all of that by 2. So I need to put a bracket around there to make that clear. And I'm going to do the same on the right hand side, so 36 times 2. Notice I'm doing the same thing here as I am here. I'm keeping my equation balanced. Now 2 divided by 2 is just 1. So again I've got x plus 7 is equal to 72. Now I subtract off 7 from both sides, and I'm left with x is equal to 65. Last one. X divided by 2 plus 7 is equal to 36. Okay, the last thing that happened when the equation was being formed is that the plus 7, the 7 got added to my x divided by 2. So the first thing I'm going to undo will be the plus 7. I'm going to subtract 7 off both sides. X over 2 plus 7, take away 7 equals 36. Take away 7. So I'm doing the inverse operation here. X over 2 is equal to 29. Now I multiply both sides by 2 and I get x is equal to 58. You might want to pause the video here and just go back through each of those equations. The next thing I'm going to do is to go through the bubbles that we used in class to see the function machine approach and how that can help you decide what to undo first in a two-step equation. So if we go back to our first equation, which was 2x plus 7 equals 36, let's look at how that got built up. Well, we started out with a number, x. We multiplied it by 2. X times 2 gives me 2x. Next, we added on 7. So we get 2x plus 7, and that equaled 36. So to do my undoing, I'm going to go in the reverse order. First thing I'm going to undo is I'm going to subtract 7. The second thing I'm going to undo is to divide by 2. So I'm doing the opposite of the steps up here. And if you now go back to the slide with the working on it, you should be able to see why I chose the order I chose to solve the equation. Right, let's look at the next one. Okay, so we started out with a number, we're thinking of a number, and it was called x. Sorry, the equation we're looking at here is this one. 2 times x plus 7 equals 36. In this case, the first thing that happened was not the timesing by 2, it was the adding 7. So I got x plus 7. And now I want to multiply all of that by 2. Now, to multiply all of that by 2, I'm going to need to put all of that, the x plus 7, into a bracket. So I get 2x plus 7, and that equals 36. Right, and as before, my undoing is going to go in reverse order. Oops, here it comes. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to divide by 7. So, whoops, divide by 2, sorry. Next thing, the opposite of adding 7, I'm going to subtract 7. And that's going to get me back to x. Equations with division in them and see how they work. Right, the equation I'm after is x plus 7 divided by 2 equals 36. Whoopsie, it's the weather forecast coming up. Never mind. Okay, so we're starting with a number, calling it x. The first thing that happened to it is I added on 7. Thinking of a number, added 7, I get x plus 7. Now I want to divide all of that by 2. Now, when I put in a fraction, it's like having an invisible bracket there. So this line here, the fraction line, is implicitly saying there's a bracket on the top line. Okay, so I don't need to show those brackets. So I'll take those out now. Now, there we go. No brackets there. We don't need them. When I go to do the undoing, I'm going to say, what was the last thing that happened? Last thing was dividing by 2. Coming backwards, first thing, timesing by 2. Next thing, subtracting 7. And back I come to my x. On the last slide, I'm starting out with x divided by 2 plus 7 is 36. So how did that come into being? Well, it started life as an x. It had itself divided by 2. And that gave us x over 2. And now it had 7 added to it. So we get x over 2 plus 7. And that equals 36. Now to work backwards, use a different colour pen. Opposite of adding 7 is subtracting 7. So we undo it with that first. Next, the opposite of dividing by 2 is multiplying by 2. Right, so if you work back and forwards between this part of the video and the slides with the working, hopefully that will help you figure out which step you're going to do first when you come to solving equations. Hope that's helped. Let me know if you've got any feedback on how I can make these wee videos better. Thanks for watching.